Those of you that are coming back here for part 19, thank you for being here. Please take a second to like the stream, subscribe, and turn on alerts. I'm live at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time every night except for Mondays. I'm excited to see what we got today. I actually am going to go to Andrew Bell. Andrew Bell wanted us to go talk to town city council. I'm inclined to do that. Jen A, I'm thinking maybe is there a hotel we can stay at anywhere near here? Doesn't look like it. It surprises me. Let's see, what time is it? It's currently 8:30.
Let's see.
What a beautiful evening, though.
What the hell?
What's going on here?
Just got this shirt.
What's the matter, mister?
I've been covered in worse, friend.
Just had to be me.
Wonder what happened. Ah, couldn't go in there. All right, come on, Jenny. It's true, Hellraiser, but I do not want Jen A to be eaten by an alligator, so I don't know that that's going to happen, friend. I want to find a hotel because I want to take a bath and I want to sleep through the night. So, let's see if we can find. I don't know if I'm just crazy. Like there's got to be one here in Saint Denis, right? Like there's no way there isn't. I see the saloon here.
Well, yeah. Are you going to work at all today?
Let's see. Locations. I don't want to go to Valentine though. Locations. I don't know. All right, let's go. Let's try. Let's see. Let's try this.
Evening, sir. Why are you doing this?
Super excited yet nervous. I have a job interview tomorrow for a dream job of mine. I also found out I'm going to go on a study abroad trip to Ireland this summer. Nice. That's exciting.
Out of the damn.
Oh, shit.
Buena, señor.
Jenny, what is going on, girl?
Hello.
What's going on here?
Well, well.
Hello, sirs.
Mister. Hello, sir.
Hey, partner.
What's going on here?
You're a dead man.
Whoa!
So much for the new world.
Hey, who the devil are you? Far as you're concerned, I am the devil. Now get out of here. But this cad, I said get out of here. I'm going. This is enough. I don't quite know why I did that.
Because barbarity is boring, no?
It kept me amused some years.
You must go, my friend, before the gendarmerie arrive.
Hey, you gonna do right by this feller's wife?
You You have done right by her. The little bird is free. I am an artist, cowboy. I must do what I feel. Look, I have an exhibit at the gallery. You come, see what I mean.
There is ever a person in this game that I ain't got a read on. It's that guy. Charles is something else, man. The guy's pulling a gun on him. I tell him to go away. I have no idea why. Charles is something else.
Hey, mister.
Alright, we're just gonna walk the streets of Saint Denis here. I've been putting Jenny through too much trouble.
Hey.
Let's take a little night stroll.
Hello.
I thought I was gonna go in too, Ninja, but it won't let me. What a beautiful evening. Stroll these fine streets of Saint Denis.
Excuse me, partner.
How do you do?
Partner.
Howdy.
Hello, sir.
Hello, mister.
All right, what do we got? Doyle's Tavern. Friendly service.
Oh, you should see yourself.
Poor guy. All right. Oh, we've been in here before.
Hey, folks.
Hello?
Hey,
Fella?
mister.
Well, suppose while I'm here, I'd like a whiskey, please.
Did you find Mr. Bronte?
No, I thought better
Hey there.
of it. Whiskey.
Finest whiskey, I guess.
Wise move. You don't want to get tangled up with that feller.
So I've heard.
Damn, dude.
You was talking with that artist, wasn't you? He's always in here drunk, shooting his mouth. Vagina is art. Vagina is art. Yeah, sure, buddy. Not after 7 kids, it ain't. All these artists moving to St. Francis thinking they're doing us a favor. Just means soon we won't be able to afford nothing. He says he likes to drink here with the real people. Well, how about you give me all your money? I'll leave and never come back, and you can be as real as you want. Ah, forget it, mister. You don't care, no.
I mean,
Hello, mister.
Anyway,
I can't say I do, but everybody's got a real fascination with Mr. Charles.
Hi, folks.
sir.
Hi, mister.
Hello, sir.
All right. I reckon I'ma leave this spot. This don't much seem like my kind of place. Well, maybe what's this? It's not the same place that we were. No, it's not. That's a different show. I wonder what that show is. I'll have to check that out later. All right, let's go to the professor. Let's go deal with this. I could use a shave.
Hello there, boys.
Sorry. See ya.
It doesn't seem to me like there's a place for me to go. Oh, I need to eat. Need to eat a little something. A little salted venison ought to do the trick. Kaufman and Davenport repairs, tailoring, and general alterations. Quality as standard. Howdy, sir.
Hello, sir.
So, yeah.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Hello.
This is very obviously a segregated city. Like, you got some real wealthy folks, and you got some real, like, got kind of like the poor part of town. Howdy,
Hey,
sir.
officer.
This one hell of a bank here. Hmm. Oh, there's another saloon over here. All right, let's take a gander.
Look out!
Sorry, ma'am. Excuse me, sir. Oh, what is this? Antoinette San Severino. She breathes fire. Oh, yeah, we saw that. Can I not go in there? Hold on. Hold on. Whew.
Someone there? Do you have anything spare for a blind man?
Wait, what? Where's this guy at?
Won't anyone help a poor blind man?
Where is he?
Hey, partner.
Howdy, sir.
Oh, he's over here.
Anything you can spare? Oh, good day to you. Do you have anything you can spare for a blind? Oh, thank you, sir. Truly, thank you. It means a lot to me.
You bet, man. I could give you more, but apparently Arthur's a cheap son of a bitch. We gotta go upstairs, I reckon.
There's someone here. All for the blind.
Let's try to go up here. No, that doesn't do it either. How the hell do you get into this saloon? There we go. Ooh, it's real fancy.
Well, the more people aim for keeps, if you get me.
When my regulars left the billfold at the bar the other night, what do I find inside but 4 locks of hair?
Hello.
Different
Hello there.
people's locks, too.
Ooh, we got some high stakes poker down here.
What can I do for you?
I'd like a bath,
Oh, I
please.
remember you.
You arrange a bath? I need a wash.
I'll have the girls make it for you. Just put this hat on.
Hey,
All about that matter that you require.
let's go get me cleaned up before I go in on behalf of the professor.
I trust everything is ready.
This is the social anxiety bar. Yeah, this is what we call it now. The social anxiety bar. All right. Now, I reckon a fancy place like this probably got fancy ladies to help a man take a bath. So I do reckon if one offers, I'll take her up on it.
Would you like help in there?
I most certainly would, miss.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Good choice. Good choice.
Howdy, ma'am.
Might not even recognize yourself after this.
Is that right?
Let me know if it's too warm.
We don't like strangers much in this town.
Yeah, that's the new normal in these parts.
Ain't often to get a hot bath and a roof over my head.
Ain't that something?
Arthur, this is like the 10th bath we've taken, buddy.
So how are things with you?
I'm getting along fine. Thank you.
Okay, so right about now, chat, the vibes I'm reading is this lady ain't much for chat. Okay, if you're going to get like 3-word answers, there's a good chance she doesn't want to chat. She's just doing it because
Relax now.
I'm engaging with her and because I'm paying her. I'm going to give her one more chat, but if she gives me like a 3-word answer, we're done. Not because I want to be done, but because I want to respect the fact that maybe she's trying to send a message that she don't want to talk.
So, you spoken for?
God damn it, Arthur.
Oh, now that ain't something I should talk about on a client's dime.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Arthur, you don't need to be asking that question, all right? So we're just going to let her do her thing. Nice company. She's doing a nice
Just
job.
relax. You know I'm gonna take care of you.
Too strong. Too strong. That's not a question you need to be asking, Arthur. You're done.
Okay, I don't think I'm gonna
Ooh.
get much cleaner than this. Thank you.
Love the little.
Take care of yourself, all right?
Thank you, miss. Love the little kiss on the forehead. That's nice. Oh, I feel so much better.
You look cute tonight.
All right, let's get a room for the morning. We'll wake up. Maybe we'll get a shave. And then I reckon we'll go do the professor. We gotta look nice here, chat. Thing is, in a place like this, you're likely to have a lot more influence if you look the part. I don't have to be the part. I just gotta look the part.
I'd like a room, please.
Okay, room's all set. Just head upstairs when you're ready.
All right, thank you, sir.
Do you have some fun?
You rented a room and can use it to save progress, change outfits, etc. Need a haircut.
Latest shipments is long overdue. The investors are starting to worry.
Is that right? Howdy, miss. Woo, what a room. Oh, it's already morning? How do I... Oh, change clothing, weapon locker. I think maybe I think I might take my chaps off. No, the chaps make me look fancy. I don't... All right. Got a little shirt there. Maybe we go... Ooh. Ooh. All right. All right. I don't reckon. Reckon a coat's maybe a little bit too much. Yeah. Oh, shit. What is this? What is all this? When did I unlock all this? Ooh. All right, we got to dress up a little fancy like for this town, I reckon. So we're going to go... We're going to go with the gunslinger. I'm going to wear a nice... Oh, I'm changing my hat. I don't know that I like this hat. We're going to go... We're going to go Beaver Valley hat. And maybe we throw the chaps back on. Nah, we're going to go chapless. And let's go... We'll go our fancier boots. And... We'll go... You think it's a little fancy like to have some gloves? No, I don't think we're going to go gloves. Go... Yeah. Some spurs. All right. All right. I like it. I like it. Now, I don't even know that I need to sleep so much as I need a haircut. So we got our outfit changed for $1. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and walk out the place. I reckon we look real nice. I don't want that fancy. Why so down? That guy's clothes are too fancy for me. I ain't into that. I'm into, you know, a real authentic look without being too pretentious. And his looks are a little too pretentious for me. All right, beautiful morning. Ready to start the day. It's always good to establish good hygiene, chat. That can really help you out. What's the matter, sir?
Hey, will you help a fella out?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That alcohol is helping you take your mind off things, sir. I'm happy to oblige.
Get yourself some real food, huh?
Listen, you have to take this.
That's real kind of you.
I lost my money playing poker. I know where a good game is. Above the gunsmith. Real. Hush, hush.
Above the gunsmith, huh? Oh, I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you, sir. I suppose that's a good point, DL. And poor guy lost to gambling, huh? Possible big gains. Big risk. All right, let's see what Professor Bell's got in store for us here, chat. Reckon things about to get real intense. Get permission to demonstrate the electric chair. Oh, God.
So
Good
welcome
morning,
to
mister.
our humble police house.
Oh, I love this guy. I love this guy. He's my favorite guy. Love his voice.
I can't
possibly help you
I'm
if you don't tell me
representing
what
the
you need.
inventor of a humane execution machine, an electric chair, and he wants to demonstrate his invention here.
Ah, I'm familiar with the man and his work. Tell you what, I'll give you a permit. But it's gonna cost you $100 in fees.
Is that right? $100 in fees, huh? I'll pay it. Because I'm a man of wealth. Significant wealth.
Okay, well, the price is fair. Here you go.
And here, sir, is your permit. Pending the usual formalities, of course, such as finding a suitable candidate for humane dispatchment.
I'll tell that to the professor.
Good luck.
Ooh, okay, so we're gonna have to... Oh, God. I mean, I guess it makes sense. We couldn't just put like a... Couldn't just zap like an insect or something? We gotta actually find a human to do this with? I don't know that I like the vibe, Sheriff. But I do reckon it makes sense. Come on, Gen 8.
Morning.
Oh, okay. Well, I reckon we're gonna have to find somebody real bad. Come on, Jenny. Come here, girl. Don't get hit by the tram. Don't get hit by the tram. All right. Let's go talk to my man.
Hey, move it around.
Yeah, let's throw Micah on there.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, shit.
Brother.
Jesus Christ. I can't drive a horse for shit. Also, chat, I do digress. I do digress one more time. One more time. I gotta get myself cleaned up. Absolutely necessary. God is sir.
Keeping the soap sellers in business with all that hair, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Got an idea of what you want?
Yeah, swept-back is still fine by me. Although, I do... Man, it's getting long, though. Getting real lengthy. I don't mind. I actually don't mind that being lengthy. Let's go facial hair. And let's go... Let's trim it up. Let's get the chin taken care of here. Ah, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and trim that up.
I say you look ready for a portrait now.
Let's go ahead and get the chops. Mustache sitting at an 8, nice and bushy. All I reckon maybe we get that down to a 6.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now that is nice.
I guess we're all done here.
Yes, indeed.
No harm done. Yeah.
Buongiorno.
Perfect. All right. I want that picture we got from that guy. All right. Professor, I reckon we're gonna have to find ourselves a man to take out.
Hello, friend.
Hello, Professor
Andrew Bell the Third.
That's it. So, the chief says you can test out your machine, pending the usual formalities.
And what are they?
Finding a suitable, subject.
Ah, funny you should mention. This fella here, he seems sturdy enough, and he's guilty as sin.
Wilson J. McDaniels. Wanted for murder, bigamy, and immoral animal husbandry. What's that?
The mind shudders. Here, find him for me, and help me put him out of his misery.
Ugh. Okay. Well, there's an implication there for sure. Last sighting close to the Grizzlies' border, north of the tracks, above the Heartland overflow. Okie.
Why, this is all coming together wonderfully. The final piece of the puzzle.
Come on, girl.
Ooh. $900 million. Jesus, Ninja Dog, that's ridiculous. Oh, this is way up there. But I reckon we can take a nice ride, chat. Actually. Yeah, why not?
Morning, friend.
Let's go for a little ride. So I'll be interested to see kind of what everybody thinks about this. Go, Gen 8. Who knows what kind of craziness we'll get up to along our path.
Yep.
Keep Gen A away from that monster. That's right. That's right. I'm almost considering taking another horse up there to that guy. Just because I don't trust him with old Gen A. I ought to ride up there on a little donkey. No, but that's not fair either. I mean, it's not just...
Please, help.
The hell? Sir?
I need a doctor. All right, friend. All right. You're gonna be okay.
You gonna help me? You gotta. You gotta.
Oh my God! Jesus! Yes, sir.
Do something.
Sir, can I borrow your cart?
Just stay alive.
Oh my God!
Okay.
My girl.
Oh. Let's go. Holy crap. Sir, I'm gonna need you to stay awake. So it would be very important here to make sure that you keep this guy awake. Keep engaging with him. Keep talking to him, Arthur. He's probably in shock. Keep him grounded.
Hold on a little longer, all right?
Must stay awake.
Yep, stay awake. Stay awake. And the other thing is, Arthur would do well to tell him what to do, right? Focus on me. Focus on... Hold on to me. We're gonna get you there. Stay with me. Tell me what you see. So, again, like, really important in this moment. Keep this guy engaged. Tell him exactly what to do. Tell me what you see. What do you see, sir? Keep talking to me.
I'm dying. This is it.
This ain't it, sir. We're getting you to a doctor. Tell me what you're going to tell the doctor when you get there. Tell me what happened. Anything to keep you engaged and cognizant.
My arm. I can't feel it.
All right, we're here. We're here. Come on. Excuse me, sir. I got an emergency here.
All right, friend. All right, we're at the doctor.
Come on. Oh, my God. Excuse me, sir. Is there a doctor in the house?
God. Quickly, bring him in here.
Yes, sir. Oh, shit.
Right. Sit him down in this chair.
What happened? Just saw you fall out of the saddle. Don't worry, you're at the doctor.
Thanks, friend. I appreciate it.
Don't give me money. Okay,
Sure.
fine.
There's also the matter of my payment. But we'll deal with that later.
All right. All right.
A lot of blood loss. And this wound's badly infected. I'll save as much as I can, but I'll have to amputate it.
What? What did you say?
Just try to breathe.
Oh, my God.
I'll give you something for the pain.
No.
There you are. And I'll knock him out for a while. You did a good thing bringing him here. But now, I'd recommend moving along. You do not want to see this.
Chat, look away. I'm watching. Look away if you need to. This is your warning. Look away if you need to. This might be disturbing. I am going to watch this. Okay? So if you do not want to watch this, please look away. I will tell you when it's good to... You probably want to skip ahead maybe like 2 minutes.
All right, it's come to this.
So you getting along okay?
Ah, Jesus.
No gloves? What are you doing? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Just throws his arm in a bucket.
Well, you're in a bad way. But you'll pull through.
Oh, my God. All right, Chad, he's done. Wow.
You stay, but don't fret. You'll make it.
That's crazy that quickly he's like, all right, it's got to go.
Let's let him rest. All we can do now is hope for the best.
Holy shit.
That was good work, Doctor.
He's lucky. Wounds like that'll kill you if you aren't careful. He's lucky he just lost the arm.
You want to get changed? What are you doing? He's just gonna stand in front of the shop covered in this guy's blood. You walk in there, you're like, sir, I'd like to buy me a medical tonic. And he's got dried blood just across his face and his arms. Jesus. What happens if somebody else comes in here?
Watch your stepping, Sandon. Not everyone who wears a badge is necessarily on the side of the angels.
All right. That's a choice. That is a choice.
Really?
Oh, my God. All right. Well, we did our good deed for the day. Oh, my God. That's wild, man. Absolutely wild that guy would do that. I mean, I guess I understand. I mean, I don't understand it. Like, get yourself cleaned up, man. Like, if all of a sudden somebody else comes through and needs that kind of procedure and he's just covered in blood, he could have time to clean himself up. Hell, he didn't even take time to clean himself up before he cut the arm off. Wow. But hey, Chad, I ain't a doctor. That's what was available at the time. I'm pretty sure that, like, during the Civil War, more people died of disease and infection and amputation than they did of actual gunshot wounds. I mean, it's amazing how fast we get destroyed by that stuff. But hey, better than that guy laying in the mud like that. You know? We did what we could. I don't think they knew about germs yet. Yeah, at least not in any kind of sophisticated way, I would imagine. What's wrong, Jenny?
You done good, girl. You good, girl?
Oh, Professor Claire, thank you so much for the 2 months. I do appreciate it. Oh, you and Jen A match. What a pair. Thank you very much, Claire. I appreciate the support.
There's a girl.
Chad, I also just, as we make this ride out, I do want to take a second to express my appreciation that so many of you come out and watch this live. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you like the stream if you haven't already. Those of you that are watching the VOD, thank you for taking the time to watch my VOD, making it all the way to part 19. I am grateful for your support of the stream. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the notification button. Follow for everything, and that way you can catch me live at 9:30. If you become a supporter or a member by hitting the join button while I'm offline, or if you send me any tips while I'm offline, thank you for doing that. Also, another plug for the merch store. It's just launched. Lots of You Matter themed merch. www.drmickmerch.com. Thanks for all the support. Leave a comment if you haven't already. Love reading them. Y'all are wonderful. I have enjoyed playing this game immensely. I have to say, Rockstar's really damn brave for how far they take things in this. Yeah, I mean, they really... It is a fully realized world, that's for sure. Thank you, DL. Also, make sure you grab yourself some Dauntless snacks. Links in the description. And if you're wondering if the Kickstarter for the jalapeno variety is worth it, it is. Chunks of real jalapeno in your beef stick. I've had them. Best snack I've ever had. Amazing. I will eat Dauntless snacks instead of Flamin' Hot Cheetos if I have the option. That is the highest praise I can give a snack. If you use promo code YouMatter at checkout, you get 10% off. It also supports the stream. This guy's quite a ways away here. Now, I'm guessing... I don't like to use a wanted poster as my only impression of this guy, but I can't imagine he's a super pleasant fellow. We're going to set ourselves some realistic expectations here. Jenny, you good, girl? Come on.
Easy there, girl.
She ain't happy.
Good girl.
All right. Wish me luck. All right, Gen 8. Let's find him. Oh.
There we go.
There it is. I reckon this is the place. I'm guessing these folks is already hostile. Let's get our scoped rifle out. That's a good point, Cricket. Gen A's just nervous. All right, fellas, you don't see me. I don't need to kill these guys. I just need to capture him. Whoa! Come here, boy. Come on, feller. I ain't trying to kill your. Oh shit!
Treat for you. Born free.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Well, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I had no chance.
Government cat's paw.
Oh, that's convenient. You just get a checkpoint and it fixes it for you. That's nice. Oh, God. Why don't I lay you down right here? At least it worked out. I love how you just turn around and that guy's just sitting there with a shotgun. Alright, I'm gonna check all your stuff here. I didn't even see, there was no like dot on the radar either. I didn't even realize that guy was there. He's got a harem of horses. He does. I almost want to take them all to those twins that collect horses. You just sit still. Now, what this guy doesn't know is he's about to go down in history as the first man zapped by the electric chair. Oh! Alright. Alright. I get it. You must be his horse. Hey. 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 Don't take too kindly. We ain't had good luck with horses already today, chat. Loyal horse. I appreciate it. I would hope Gen A would do the same. If this was reversed, I would hope that Gen A would do the same. All right. I'm actually going to throw him down on the ground real quick. I'm going to loot him. What do you got?
Isn't your day, is it?
What do you got? Silver emblem ring? Well, that ain't nothing. Come on! You know. What are we doing, Arthur? What are we doing?
Up you get.
Take me to damn court, then.
Oh, I'll take you to court. Don't you worry. You having all those horses doesn't bode well for you, sir.
In America, we ain't free no more. Can't raise no animals, take no wives. All I did was graze my livestock. Married them that needed marrying. Killed any that tried to stop it. I ain't wrong. It's you that's wrong. We was trying.
You were saying? This is the worst.
Live free. You came along and laid waste. Take me in. Just take me to the jailhouse.
You know, you ain't going to court. You ain't going to jail either. I'm taking you to a professor I know.
And we'll let you think about that.
You're a lucky man, mister. You get to be part of a great experiment.
Shut up.
Huh? You ain't gonna die needlessly, is what I mean.
Well, I don't know about that, Arthur. Now I get into this house through this tree. Oh, I can. Large jewelry bag. Hell yeah. And a lockbox? Oh, yes, indeed. What do we have here? Homing tomahawk. Owls are silent, deadly hunters who locate their prey in darkness. Their feathers have long been seen as a symbol of power by Indian tribes. Greeks consider the owl a symbol of protecting armies going to war. This tomahawk modification improves accuracy. Tomahawk and an owl feather. Firmly hold tomahawk. Secure feather around shaft. Stow tomahawk for use. When building a shelter in hot climates, cover the walls with a mix of blood and cow dung to create clean, permanent plaster. Blood and cow dung. Okay. Meat. Alright. Canned salmon. Some canned fruit. Alright. Like this. I don't need any more of that. Doesn't look like there's much over here. Maybe. Am I able to get through here? Doesn't look like it. Alright. Let's get out of here, Arthur. Alright. Well, that was nice. Let's see what this guy thinks about what's going to happen to him. Howdy, mister. Alright, let's get you to Saint Denis. Man, what a helpless feeling to be this guy. To be captured like this. To know that you have no recourse. I don't even know that this guy's gonna get a trial. Chat, don't forget to grab your bingo card by hitting the link that's posted up in chat. It's pinned. You can get a randomly generated bingo card and play along. One of the perks to being here live. I mean, this guy's lucky he hadn't been killed by my terrible horse riding skills. All right, Gen A. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Definitely has a concussion. Yes. Yes, indeed. I'm surprised Arthur hadn't had like 20 of them to this point, given how I've been treating him. Oh, God. All right. You need to eat something? You want a carrot? There you go, girl. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Oh, geez, Phoenix. Makes me feel a little better. And we were a long way from Saint Denis, weren't we? Take a left turn here. I know, girl. Here. How about some... How about a sugar cube?
Easy now.
Jenny and Steve would have been great partners and parents. Yeah. I don't know why Jenny is so mad, Ben. I don't know. I mean, she's probably sick and tired of running around like this. What's up, Ika? Good to see you, bud. Oh, shit! Howdy, fellas!
They gone? I'm sorry about that, McDaniels. You all right? Uh-huh. Yeah, me too. Well, you'll be happy to know we ain't got far to go. Hold on tight now.
You crying? Oh, man. Jenny taking a big old shit while he's laying there? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, what's up, Teve? This has been a wild quest, that is for sure. All right, hop on. Here we go. Oh, God. Almost there, brother. You ready to meet your maker? Bingo for you? All right, Dan. Congratulations. Feel free to post it in the Red Dead chat on Discord. Alright, sun's down. A little bit of an ominous tone. These guys working long into the night. All right, here we go. Saint Denis. It's about to be the bastion of capital punishment technology. All thanks to Professor Alex Bell. He's been working real hard. Arthur Morgan, author number 2 on the papers that'll be written about it.
Well, here we are. Professor will be real pleased to meet you. No! Whoa, take it easy now.
Oh, baby. Here we go.
Bring him over here.
I got him.
You're wonderful, just wonderful.
Now, where's my money?
Money?
Yeah, for all the running around I've been doing.
Oh, well, once they buy my humane electric ending facilitator, there'll be money enough for you, sir.
Well, let's hope.
All right, let's get our poor unfortunate ready for the demonstration. Oh, do come and watch. It'll be amazing. Come along.
I reckon I will. Maybe I'll have a quick nap. It's not considered wilderness? No? Alright, I reckon maybe we still have that room available to us. Maybe now we'll sleep. We'll get a nice morning show.
Easy there.
I'm sorry, sir. Alright, come on, Jenny.
What the hell? What's wrong with you?
That was a full day. A full day. Let's go. Oh, this is the saloon. So I reckon we go in there, get ourselves a room, get a little siesta after our long day.
What is the matter with you?
All right, Jenny. Howdy, folks.
Welcome back, mister.
Yeah, okay.
Boy, I'm enticed to play me some poker, but we got stuff to do.
Scrub the blood out of the floorboards, though.
Excuse me, miss.
Hello, handsome.
Yes, I am. Okay. Let's sleep. Come on. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you. Nice 8 hours. There we go, in this lavish bed. Ah. Ah. Well, I don't know how well this is gonna go. This is definitely gonna be interesting. New journal entry. Ooh, let's take a gander at that. All right. So we headed into Saint Denis to find Lil Jack. We was told he'd been kidnapped by some local gangster, this Italian feller called Bronte, local tough guy. We ain't found him, but he's found us. Dutch and I headed into town, and I managed to get myself robbed by a bunch of children. This was a new low, even by my standards. Anyway, we found Mr. Bronte, and are going to pay him a call. We better get the boy back soon, not least because if we don't, Abigail will kill the lot of us. All this after we burned down the Braithwaite Manor house looking for him and made some real enemies of ourselves back in that country. We're now hiding deep in the swamps, trying not to get eaten by wildlife or sunk too deep in the mud. I cannot decide which I like less, the swamps or the city. Both are full of parasites, reptiles, and slime. The swamp's prettier. Dutch is trying to think of where we can run next, but in the meantime, we're deep in the swamps, hiding in some disease-ridden old plantation house, mostly swallowed up by nature. Guess we'll find Jack, get some money, then flee, but where? These bastards ain't giving up. We're a long way east to land we know and far from real open country. Met a curious French man in a bar. Bought him a drink and he gave me a picture. Said he was an artist, although I'm not sure I see what's so good about it. Met a monk. Helped him free a couple of poor bastards from the island someplace who were kept prisoner. The monk, what was his name? Brother something or other. Was a good fellow. One of those innocent people who make you feel better about human beings and even about yourself a little. Must be odd to see all the goodness in the world. The place always seemed dark and brutal to me. Met a weird fella. Wants 100 gallons of moonshine. For love? Never heard such nonsense in all my life. And I know some talkers of nonsense. Guess I'll go ask that clerk, Alden, Trelawney's disappointed friend. Maybe he knows a way of finding it, as I think there's money in this. Met a pair of fellas from a chain gang. Black fella named White, white fella named Black. They wanted to kill each other. They begged me to clear off their wanted posters for them. Collected the posters. Old white and black weren't so innocent as they seemed. Took the shine to the fellow in Saint Denis. A professor, no less. Andrew something or other. He's built an electric chair as a kind of way of killing folk as needs killing. Oh, the irony of it all. Even more ironic, me so tough and him so weak, and I never got paid. If I want to get paid for this nonsense, I got to find a bounty. Name of Wilson J. McDaniels, so he can be humanely disposed of at enormous cost to everybody, as opposed to shot in the head like I would do. Still ain't been paid for this. Well, Arthur, there's an argument to be made, pal, that the reason you ain't been paid is because your boundaries aren't good. Arthur continues to do stuff without payment, despite the fact that he doesn't have to. At some point, this is on Arthur to hold firm on his boundaries and say, I'm not doing anything more until you pay me. Like, Arthur is enabling this guy's behavior by continuing to do things, despite the guy not paying him. Payment for services is a form of boundary. Like saying, you need to pay me X amount for this. Until you're paid, that person is violating a boundary. A consequence for that boundary in this case might be Arthur saying, I ain't going to do anything else for you. In fact, if the guy paid Arthur, that's actually a reinforcement in the form of reward for the desirable behavior of doing it. Right now, Professor Bell is punishing Arthur for doing these tasks for him. He's doing, but I'm going to take this to a deeper layer here, because you might look at this and go, well, gee, yeah, Arthur, just don't do it. But this is where Arthur's entanglement in the Vanderlyn gang shows itself. People find themselves in contexts that they can anticipate and are used to. Arthur is literally a core member of a group that is built around the idea that there is very rarely immediate reward for anything, always chasing the carrot at the end of the stick. So Arthur being more inclined to continue to do this stuff, even though he's not getting paid, I think is a reflection of the fact that this is a process that he is used to. Alex Bell dangling this carrot in front of him is no different than Dutch dangling carrots in front of him. So Arthur's inclined to go along with this process more than a person who isn't immersed in a context like that, which speaks to the power of how we continue to look for processes that we can anticipate and understand, even if it's against our own best interest. All right, let's go check out that chair, huh? Hey. Wait a minute, is he not available? Or do I got to go to the actual police office in order to watch it? I would have thought... Huh. Alright, I'm inclined to ride over there.
Hello there. Damn, I miss my old horse.
A little bit turned around, though.
Fine morning, partner.
Good morning, mister.
Morning to you.
Excuse me, partner. Morning to you.
Shut up.
Morning, sir.
You down in my face.
You must need eyes in the back of your head.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I won't disturb you any longer.
Be well. All right, we've had enough of your nonsense. Off with yourself. That's it. Do what you're told when the law speaks to you.
Hello, Mick.
Maybe it's not available yet. Yeah, I guess you just gotta wait for it to pop up. Yeah, he's got stuff he's got to figure out, I suppose. Because I can't imagine that you gotta like follow him and you're gonna miss it if you don't. So, let's see what's going on over here.
Buenos días.
Why do I waste my time? Why?
Everything okay, sir?
You okay, buddy?
Fantastic. You Americans are nothing but shysters and traitors and slippery-tongued bull suckers.
I'm inclined to agree.
Here, help me, please. Back to work with a bloody smile. No problem, Marco. You are the great genius, so we shall the hot poker up the ass. Say thank you, Marco. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
What are you, some kind of European toy maker?
No, I am a fucking genius with poker up the ass, like I say. Toy maker. Hello? Do I look like I should entertain children?
No.
No, he says. No. I am the savior of the mankind, Bobby. Yes, you meet him. Professor Marco Dragic. The one the silver-tongued American betrayed and not paid the money to. Yes, he total shit, man.
So, what's this toy about?
It is not a toy, Big Nuts. It is demonstration of my genius, of my ideas about the source of life.
Oh, it's a toy boat.
Yes, it is a toy boat that I can power remotely using electricity in ways you cannot see.
Good for you. Ways I cannot see.
And still the investors will not come. Just a couple of old ladies and a moron.
Ladies, please.
Ladies! Gentlemen! Enchanté. Hello. Hello, sir. Okay. How is the piles? Yeah? Good. Okay. My friends, you are about to witness history. A demonstration of my infinite insight. All of us, we feel old. You are old.
Oh.
But maybe I can make you immortal. Using waves you cannot see. I will power this
You're a
boat.
goddamn fraud.
This is Steve Jobs right here.
Buffoon dressed up like a buffoon is a stoolie. I watched them conspire, you morons.
I never met this buffoon before 2 minutes ago. Isn't that right?
Which part of it?
So, Professor, show us your magical toy boat. Only this time let the buffoon control it. Check if there's any funny business.
No, this ain't nothing to do with me.
Come, please. It is easy. Any moron could do it, and I am about to prove that. Here, take this, and don't touch that. Use these ones to steer, and this one to shoot torpedoes, okay? Yes, now blow up the little battleships, and avoid the sea mines. They have magnets attached. Make a nasty explosion if they touch the boat. Okay! If this silly dimwit can use torpedoes on boat to destroy the battleships, imagine what technology can do in the hands of certified genius! And I have certificate.
It's doing what I'm telling it.
Of course it is doing. Now tell it to do closer to battleship and shoot with torpedo. You avoid the mines, yes? That is what controls are for. Be mine now. Look. You see what he does? No wire like telegraph. No pulley system underwater. Only waves in the air.
This is remarkable. Think of those poor boys on the HL.
Oh!
8 of them perished to a mere 5 on the Housatonic. What a way to go. Trapped in a box at the bottom of the bay. I suppose you intend to make an unmanned killing machine?
You misunderstand. This is the secret to life, not death. The transmigration of the soul. I make lifeless metal breathe like man.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
All gone for you.
Yes, you see what he does? Now, bring the boat back to the dock.
That sure was something, but I'm not sure what, if anything, was proven here.
Let me just reload her.
This is really remarkable.
This is just a demonstration of my prowess, sir. The real miracles require investment.
Ah.
We're gonna sink these guys?
We'll use invisible waves to destroy the little sailing boats before they get to other side of pond. Still avoiding magnetic mines.
Oh, he'll attempt to, at least.
Shush! You're not here for this smart talk.
Come on. Oh.
The telegraph machine, the motor car. They will all seem pedestrian in comparison to this technology. We are not reliant on wires or coal or gasoline. No, just rays in the air, like the voice of God.
And funding from us?
And funding from you.
Bam. Let's go.
What an opportunity! No one is stupid enough to pass this up. Not even Dimwit here.
Hey, look who rules the seas.
Very good, very good. Now bring in the boat back here. Foolproof. Undeniably foolproof. But you are not fools. As I say, any fool, huh? Thank you, thank you.
What is that?
It is the stuff of life, sir.
It's incredible.
No. Incredible things are in my lab, back at Dover Hill. That will astound all of you. Mr. Marcel, can I count on your support?
Well, this is expensive.
It is immortality, sir. It is very cheap. Perhaps over lunch.
Maybe.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, yeah, of course. And thank you. If you're ever up near Dover Hill, pay me a visit. There, I will really amaze you. I hope you will forgive my European coarseness. In the Balkans, we are a mannerless people, but we work hard. Now, let me go over the investment with you once more.
And this is for military purposes?
No. It is for humanity itself. You see, I have now illustrated just a small sliver of the miracles I can enact on this earth. If you will help me and not stab me in the ass like the other Americans. Traitors! All of you, goddamn traitors! None of you has the wisdom to invest in my genius! Genius! You're fools. All of you. Fools. Fools! Fools!
Dude! What are you doing?
Anything else I can help you with?
No, you've done quite enough. Now you can leave me alone.
Hard to invest in that temper, brother. Jeez. This guy's approach is actually really cool for me. I know that y'all know at this point that I hate TED Talks, but there is one TED Talk in particular that I actually really enjoyed and was enthralled by, and it was by a man named Simon Sinek. I don't know how many of you know who that is, but he's a great speaker. He has a really great talk about how you sell things in a really sophisticated way. And he draws these circles. It's 3 circles. There's the outer circle is what, the middle circle is how, and the center circle is why. And his idea is that when people who are not sophisticated in salesmanship often start with what, and then they make their way to why. So like if you want to sell a phone, for example, you would say, check out this awesome phone. Here's how it works, and here's why it exists. It exists to connect people. He said that the most successful companies with brilliant marketing campaigns focus more on the why before they take you to the what. So this guy is attempting to take that approach. And you hear that in him saying that this goes beyond a boat with a remote control. We're investing in immortality, big ideas. Like it's about changing the world through technology. That's something that people can use their values to connect with. And when you connect with people's values, then they go in the direction of how are you going to do that? Like, what does it take to do that? So he's basically saying, I have this incredible technology. If he starts with, I have this incredible technology, people are likely to get intimidated by it. If he instead says, hey, you interested in changing the world and technology as we know it? You interested in immortality? You interested in the idea that we can make something move without touching it? That's like whimsical. That's exciting for people. And you take them in the direction of what you can do in order to accomplish that. People are probably going to be more willing to invest if he can align the values of what he's doing with the values that they have. Good salesmanship is reading your audience on that. I think part of the reason he fails is because he's not reaching them where they are. He's talking about himself. He's asking them to connect with him instead of reaching them. Really understanding what they're interested in. Humans are inherently drawn toward things and people that they can reflect some of the better aspects of themselves and their values in. Like for a long time, one of the hypotheses I had about relationships and why people stay in certain relationships that are healthy for them is because they like what it brings out in them. They like this relationship brings out certain aspects of myself and my personality that I really closely align with and enjoy. And I think it's the same thing with salesmanship. Like these things bring out aspects of my life, my interests, my values that I'm connected with. And so he's kind of missing them on this. It may be that all he has to talk about here is when she says, so this has military applications. I mean, maybe that's something that she's interested in. It could also be that these people, by virtue of being rich, are mostly just interested in money. And if he can spin it as like, you want to talk about something that has the potential to make tons of money, and here's why, you connect them to it. So never underestimate in communication the power of connecting with people's values and the whys in their life, because that's going to hook them a lot more than just saying, here's what I have. If y'all haven't seen that TED Talk, I am not a person to generally recommend TED Talks, but that talk by Simon Sinek is excellent. I love it. All right, so tonight's like weird character night, so why don't we go see what our boy Charles is up to?
Let's go, girl.
No way. Are you kidding me?
Has anyone seen Gavin?
What the hell are you doing here?
Good morning.
Hello there.
Morning, mister.
Please, tell me you've seen Gavin.
I don't even know what he looks like.
Big bloke. Cockney. Londoner. Hilarious. Oh, we've had such times, me and Gav.
No, sorry. I've yet to meet any hilarious Londoners.
Oh, he's the best. Gavin! I am so worried. Gav!
I can't believe this guy is just freaking everywhere.
Gav! Where are you? Where are you?
I hope you find him, man. I really do. Why do you dislike TED Talks? Because what started as something that was like kind of legitimately interesting got watered down into everybody doing them. Also, they're just, I don't know. I find TED Talks to be mostly pretentious, and also I don't think 20 minutes is enough time to convey actually legitimately interesting ideas. There are two TED Talks that I like. There's the TED Talk from Simon Sinek about that salesmanship, and then there's another one. There's a TED Talk called Why TED Talks are dumb, basically. That TED Talk is interesting too. I just don't find them stimulating, and it got watered down into like everybody doing them, and it's hard to tell what TED Talks are good and which ones aren't, and you see some that are just, you walk away from and you haven't learned anything. It got too big for, like, that's the kind of thing that I actually think is okay to have be somewhat limited, but your voice is cutting in and out a bit this stream. Mic position, maybe? I don't know. That's interesting. I'll raise it up a little bit. I might go back to monitoring again, just because of how much of a difference it makes for me to hear what I'm doing. All right, Charles. Hey, Katie. Charles, my man, the gallery. Let's see what we got here. Thank you all for being here, by the way. Really do appreciate that so many of you have come out so late at night to hang out. All right, here we go.
If that's possible.
What's this show, then?
Mr. Charles Chatternay. Go and see for yourself, but don't blame me. You should know the artworks are not endorsed by gallery staff.
I mean, they kind of are by you allowing him to have it here.
Sooner you can come out.
Such a cop-out. It's such a cop-out. If you host his artwork, you passively endorse it. Like, you didn't have to let him put his artwork in here. So, all right, this will be interesting.
The exhibition is through there, if you can call it that.
I just don't like how much time you're spending with the man is all.
Just wait until you see his work. It's very progressive.
Well, I'm not so very sure how I feel about progression. Paintings or otherwise.
Come on. You won't have seen the like of it before. I promise.
Maybe that's a good thing. Hold on. Let me compose myself.
Hey, I applaud that guy for... Chat, if you ever need a minute to cool off because you notice that your emotions are getting the better of your rationality and it's making it difficult for you to engage in a conversation, do what that guy did. Hey, I need a minute. I need to cool off. I love that that guy said that. It's great. You should never be afraid to do that. You need a minute. But here's the thing. If you disengage from a interaction, it is on you to be the one that returns to it. So for him to disengage, say I need to cool off, and then to expect her to come find him, not great, because he's setting a boundary by doing that. So if you do that, you say, hey, I need to cool off, need to get my head together, give me a couple minutes, then it's on you to re-engage when you're ready. But I love that that guy did that. It's really cool. Yep, Exactly, DL. Exactly. Yeah, we don't endorse them. We just take their money. You don't have to do that. We can smoke cigars in here. Hold on. I'm down to smoke myself a cigar while we go into this gallery. Absolutely. Oh yeah, take a puff and throw it. There we go. All right.
Will you?
All right. Now she needs to give him that space. If a person ever asks you for space, they say, "Hey, I need a minute to cool off. I'm going to leave the room, or I'm going to just let me chill here for a second." Do not do what she's doing. Actually give him the time. Because if you pursue while that person's trying to cool off, one, you're violating a boundary, and two, you're not giving that person a chance to re-engage with their rationality. And he is more likely to snap at her or not engage in a way that's going to be meaningful for her because she's pursuing him here. So it's important that when a person sets a boundary like that to realize he's doing that so he can engage in a meaningful way. And you pursuing him and violating that boundary is actually disrespectful and also is not going to work out for you interactionally. So there's a what to do and there's a what not to do right here.
I don't know why you're so flustered.
Maybe because you're not listening to him. Okay, so if I'm the couples therapist here, if I'm cowboy couples therapist here, I am going to step in and say, hey, so what I really appreciate here, sir, is that you have taken the time to say that you need some space. I totally respect that. And then I engage in some psychoeducation. I say, so what happens is sometimes when we get flooded and we get emotional, our prefrontal cortex goes offline. When that happens, it's actually very hard for us to listen. We don't process auditory information properly, if at all. So I really appreciate the self-insight that you have to recognize that you need a couple minutes in order to re-engage. And I would look at her and say, so in this moment, I know that this is scary because when he pulls away like this, you might be wondering when he comes back. And I'm going to coach him to help explain to you when he's going to come back. But the best thing you can do right now, given that he has asked for some space, is to allow him to have that space. Because whatever you say to him, he literally, biologically cannot hear. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with any values. It doesn't have to do with your relationship falling apart. It has everything to do with biology. So we're going to give him a second here, and we're going to put it on him. The onus is on him to re-engage with you. On average, it's probably going to take about anywhere from 20 seconds to 2 minutes for him to come fully online. And so we're going to give him that space. And while we give him that space, you and I can talk. And I'm going to look at him and say, you don't have to engage with us. You don't have to listen. You take the time that you need. You let us know when you're ready, and we'll re-engage. But this is process-wise something that's actually very healthy for your relationship, even if it doesn't seem like. We can't constantly try to mitigate our anxiety by over-engaging. If he's flooded, it's good for him to name that. What he did is in the spirit of health for the two of you. And I admire that, right? We want to facilitate this interaction and help people realize that this is an ideal circumstance here. This is how you want to engage. Over pursuing is not going to help you. All right, let's go see what we got here. What kind of modern art we got.
I think that it's Greek.
This ain't so bad.
Or
Morning to you.
Could be Roman. You know, it's Italian, most likely.
Yes, what? Yes, because it most certainly matters. Yes, Italian, I believe.
It might just be from someone over in Black.
Yeah, maybe.
Madam, back here.
Oh, God. All right. It looks like we have two of the same statue. Okay. These don't look weird at all. Oh, here we go. Okay.
That's far too modern for my tastes.
Oh, no.
Chardonnay. He's just a terror. It's making me blush.
I find the brushwork baffling. What's he trying to represent aside from a filthy mess?
It's a... You know.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Well, let's just say I can't say. Not in mixed company.
I'm not here to tell people what you should consider to be good art versus not. That's not what I'm here for. But I do want to give maybe a little bit of an explanation for why people would have a hard time with this. Now, if this is an aesthetic that you don't like, that's okay. I respect that, right? Like, if you look at this and you go, it doesn't fit my taste. Cool. But when they're talking about, like, you know, the brush strokes and that, you know, you have to remember that, like, a lot of the people during this time, good artwork was considered to basically be one-to-one copy, where it was like a photograph, essentially. So when you get guys like Charles that come in here and they start to represent things more abstractly, it makes people think. So people who are accustomed to looking at a piece of art and knowing exactly what it is and what it's supposed to be, there's not a lot you have to think about there. It's not effortful for your brain to have to interpret a piece of art. Instead, you look at it and you go, oh, yeah, it's a portrait of George Washington. Cool. He was the president. Great. I know what it is. I don't have to interpret it much. But then you get something like this, where it's like this faceless woman who is not represented in a one-to-one way that we have come to anticipate, like this is what a human looks like. All of a sudden, it creates a little bit of dissonance in a person's brain, because now I'm being asked to interpret this. I'm being asked to look at this and step into the mind of another person who's represented a woman laying on a bed differently than I would have conceptualized it. And I have to ask myself what it means. And a lot of people don't like when they can't figure out what something is. Because again, from an evolutionary perspective, that's risky. So these people looking at art and being like, I don't quite know how to make sense of this. I don't know what it means. It's requiring a level of abstract thought that they very likely aren't used to exercising, even if they're educated. And so it makes people uncomfortable, because a lot of times, too, people are conditioned to think that they're supposed to just know what it is, right? That you're supposed to be able to look at a picture or look at a device and know what it is. And when we look at something and we can't quite figure it out immediately, or if it seems like there's a point to it that we're missing, then it creates all sorts of projections that we have about our incompetence, our lack of intellect, and all these sorts of things. Where people will look at art sometimes and feel dumb because they can't figure out what it is or why it was painted or drawn or whatever in a certain way. The reality is, it's not about you being dumb. It's about art being an interpretive, abstract thing that doesn't always have a simple, direct answer. People who like concrete things will tend to struggle with that a lot more than people who are open to the idea of abstraction interpretation. You know, they're colors that you don't see represented in real life, etc. But listening to these people try to make sense of it is actually really fascinating to me. I really enjoy that aspect of this. I mean, I personally think that the aesthetic of this is really cool. Right? Like, we're looking at simpler colors. You still know what it is, right?
I simply can't paint.
Right? Now, but again, look at this in comparison to this, right? Like, people of the time are going to look at this and they're going to say, wow, that's incredible. Because it's a one-to-one representation. It's very clear. Everything makes sense. You come over here, what's really cool cognitively is you are confronted with your schema for something. So all of these lines in this configuration make out an image that our brain can interpret, right? Like, this is a woman laying on a couch naked. Because that's what has been symbolically represented in our head and represented to us through real life representation. And here it is in art. But because it's not one-to-one, our brain is having to fill in certain gaps. It's seeing the thing as a symbol. It's not seeing the one-to-one representation of it. And that's like chaotic for our brain in a way that some people will enjoy and in a way that other people are super averse to, like this guy where he says this is disgusting. This is about this guy's skill. Even though one could argue that he accomplished what he needed to accomplish by showing us what it is in his interpretation of it, the way that it's represented to him, right? Same thing with this. We can reasonably figure out what it is. It's a woman laying on a couch, naked. That's what all of these are. I mean, this woman's not naked, right? There's this dude laying on a towel, but it's not what we're used to seeing. I would argue it's more interesting because if I want to see what a real life person looks like laying on a beach towel in grass, then I can just go do that. But this, we get to actually see into the mind of another person. I find that to be one of the cool things about art. Let's talk to Charles about it.
Look at these idiots.
Excuse me, Mr. Chatternet. Couldn't you have painted some drawers on her?
Madame, I paint her in her natural state, as she was and will be in paradise.
There's nothing natural about that.
Clothes are civilization, repression, death. To be naked is to be free, innocent, alive. Like Buddha said, you know, we are all just here to fuck.
Explains the decadence of those Hottentots.
Hey, you got a picture of my wife here. In her delicates.
Henry, is that your behind? Why would you be showing it to that man?
That's my mama. As nude as the day she was born.
Stop looking at my husband's buttocks.
Stop looking at my mama.
Well, maybe she shouldn't have exposed herself like that.
This is disgusting.
The nerve on you!
That's it!
Come on, Mildred. This is no place for us.
Come here!
Son of a bitch! You filthy little man! Oh! Come on, horse, we're leaving!
Hey, I'm coming after you, Frenchie!
Hey.
All right.
Really? Really? I wasn't anticipating getting in fight in an art gallery today. Hey! Hey!
Wasting my time. Hey, where you gone off to, Frenchman?
Reckon these folks probably got a lot of money on them. No, I don't want this hat. I don't want this trash-ass hat. No. No. I want my hat.
This show is well and
I know. I'm sorry, Katie. I'm sorry.
Come on, I know a place where I can disappear for a few days.
Is that right? All right, I'm coming, Charles. I'm coming.
This way, come on. I think we are okay. The exhibition, what can you say? It was not boring.
That it was not.
Art should test people, push them. I thought I was a fraud, a no-talent brushwasher. Now I'm not sure. We provoke emotions, no?
You keep provoking emotions like that, and all your canvases left punch holes through.
I told you I was a whole ass.
You did, and you are.
I'm going to get real abstract here for a second. I find hatred of art to be fascinating. Because in reality, all art is paint in a certain combination on a canvas. That's all it is. It's just different colors drawn in certain ways to represent certain things. When people look at art, it is such an opportunity for reflection on your own self. A painting that makes you uncomfortable says nothing about the painting. It says everything about you. What is it about that painting that makes you uncomfortable? What is it that you don't like? When you're drawn to a certain aesthetic, what is it that you're drawn to? That painting of the naked woman on the seat isn't actually anything. What it actually is for you when you look at it is whatever your value is relative to the thing that you have represented or perceived that painting to be a representation of. So when that woman says, oh, you couldn't have put britches on that lady, she's showing her cards. She's talking about her values. Perhaps she's uncomfortable by whatever nakedness represents to her. Maybe she has been oppressed out of being naked in some ways, and there's an aversion to that. That painting represents something that she didn't have an opportunity to participate in or doesn't feel like she can do at this point in time in her life. Like, we have no idea what that is. But when you look at a piece of art and it creates a certain experience for you, kind of like what Charles is talking about here, there's drama and emotion that comes along with it. It's because of us. It's why 30 people could look at one piece of art and interpret it completely differently and have a completely different reaction to it. Because we all have different experiences that lead up to that moment in interpretation of the art that we're looking at. And I think that's really badass. I mean, I was in all sorts of art classes and an advanced placement in high school, and art has been a big part of my life. And that kind of contributes to my appreciation of it. But when you really look at the psychology behind how people perceive art, I find it to be fascinating. And it was what drew me to advertising in the first place, is that you can influence people in certain ways through art. Just a really cool conversation.
Now maybe go be an asshole somewhere else for a while. Okay.
Right? He's not being an asshole. He's just painting. He's painting things that people are uncomfortable with, but again, it says something about the people. Now, that's not to say that, like, at the time what he's drawing is offensive, right? Like, if he was drawing, like, really racist depictions of stuff, is that okay? No. I'm not going to condone stuff that's hurtful at all, right? But it's just paint on a canvas. It has influence on us. And that's really cool, right? That, like, something that's created by somebody, just oil paint on a canvas, can have such strong influence on people. A propaganda posters can have such strong influence on people. Art is a message, right? But art without words, even more interpretation there. Words start to bias folks really hard on a piece of art. But paint on canvas with nothing.
Here we are. I know a lady over here. She may let me stay for a while.
Good luck.
Are you staying now, Daddy?
That picture I gave you, it will be worth something someday. I can feel it.
Perhaps. Right now, seems like the only thing it'd get me is kicking the balls.
Oh, you are funny, you know. I hope to see you again sometime. My angel, my little bird, it's me!
Okay. I love these side missions. Now let's go see what Brother Dorcas is up to. Good night, Sadie.
Try again. Please. Please.
It is
Por favor. It's warm. W, an upside down M.
I don't get it.
Oh, you will. It's like swimming. It takes time. But then it's easy. And the whole world opens to you.
hate this. It's too hard.
Take your time.
I lick.
Like.
I like the sooner. God damn it. What does that even mean?
Watch your language, please. Summer. I like the summer.
Don't worry. You know the letters, you know the sounds. You're nearly there.
I got no use for stupid books.
I don't have any use for stupid books.
If you ain't, why you making us do it?
No, you should say, I don't have any, not I got no.
I think you may be confusing things a little now, Brother Dorkins.
Probably.
Go over it first in your head. Take your time.
A quick opportunity for me to talk about scaffolding. If you're interested in learning theory, I have a video on YouTube that you may be interested in watching that goes into significant depth on how people learn. Anxiety is part of learning. This kid being distressed by learning how to read is part of the process, and it would be very important for this nun here to explain this to him, right? Like the frustration that you're experiencing as you're trying to learn a new skill is part of the gig. In fact, if you're frustrated, that actually means that you're being presented with something that you have the ability to learn, right? It's not something you've already learned because it's new. And scaffolding is basically helping a person go from completely assisted, in this case having something read to you, being unaided. And you slowly remove the instructor's role over time to facilitate the person being more self-sufficient relative to the skill, in this case reading. So if you're a person that wants to learn a skill, wants to do something new, wants to get better at something, or learn an entirely new concept or language or something like that, you need to know going into that when you experience frustration, that is okay. And that is actually part of learning. You can't learn without frustration. That challenge is important. You want things to be just beyond your competency so that you can push through various layers of development in order to get to more advanced competency in a thing. And if you embrace the fact that frustration is going to be a part of that and expect it, as opposed to expecting that it's going to go smoothly, and you build some distress tolerance around that, you're going to find that you can learn things a lot quicker, especially if you have the right instructor.
Hello, mister.
Sister, my friend, Mr. Morgan.
Oh, sir. Brother Dorkins told me about the wonderful thing you did.
Oh, he talks a lot of nonsense. No offense.
None taken at all. Hey, stop!
These kids, they're the worst!
Don't hurt him, please!
Meet us at the cathedral, Mr. Morgan.
Oh, no, my mother gave me that when I was a girl.
What the hell? The parenting in this town is garbage if these kids are like this. Find clues as to where the kid went.
You little bastard!
You all right?
Oh, I'll live.
Kid did this?
You know him?
He robbed me. Which way you go?
That way, think.
Thank you.
Get off me!
Where's my watch, you little weasel?
I don't know nothing about no damn watch.
Hey, you! Why don't you leave the boy alone?
What's it to do with you?
I can hit a lot harder than you. Promise you that.
All right, forget it. Little shit ain't even worth my time.
Thanks, mister.
Hey, you want some company, mister?
No.
You sure?
Hey,
What?
I don't know you. This is Downs?
Oh, no. Not you. Get away.
How?
Now.
I mean, hey,
Help! Help!
Hold on.
This man is bothering
Now-
me. Someone help me. Officer, help.
Really? Really? Ah, Jesus. This is not where I thought this was going at all.
Holy Jesus! Holy shit! Please! I won't just...
God, would you let this happen?
Oh, shit. Charlie stopped? Okay, that didn't work as well as I thought. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Come on, Jenny. Where you at, girl? Oh, no. Excuse me, folks.
Help me! Somebody!
Come on, Jenny. I need you over here, girl. Oh, shit. I don't have any energy. Come here, girl. Thank you. Let's go. Chop, chop.
You got some issue?
Find Sister Calderon without alerting the law. Alright, Jenna, you stay there then, girl. Oh, shit. Okay. Nice and easy. You named your horse Ronald. Did you know that's my dad's name, Katie? You named your horse after my dad? Alright, without alerting the law. Nice and easy. We're gonna stay real calm. Real calm. I'm just another citizen.
I'm doing good.
Ain't bothering nobody. Go around the back side of this church. Oh shit.
When I was younger, those challenges used to frustrate me. But then, over time, I learned to ask how instead of why. Often the people... Mr. Morgan!
Excuse me, Father. Sister, I got your cross.
You didn't!
Oh, I did.
Oh, I hope the boy...
He's fine, physically. Mentally, he's a piece of work, but who am I to say?
Brother Dorkins was right about you. You are the most wonderful man.
Brother Dorkins is greatly deceived, I'm afraid, but I'm happy to help a little.
Thank you. You see, it's a thing, but my mother gave it to me when I was a novice, shortly before she passed. You are the most wonderful man.
Oh, excuse me, Father. Sister, enjoy your day.
See, Father? Brother Dorkins, won't you?
So, one of the ways... So, again, this is an obvious depiction of Arthur's self-esteem. We're seeing that reflected outwardly toward the people that he interacts with, especially when they tell him that he's wonderful. Arthur's aversion to being told that he's a good man, I think, is still indicative of his ties to the Vanderlyn. He has been surrounded by a group that continually perpetuates the narratives that they're outlaws and bad people, and Arthur has heavily internalized that. But it speaks to the power of who you surround yourselves by. Because Arthur could very well surround himself by folks who send these messages, right? Like, this woman gets to believe that he has been good to her. And him rebutting that is not entirely necessary. I think the reason that Arthur continues to be averse to people telling him that he's a good man is because it creates dissonance for him. I think it forces him to reconsider who he is and what he's all about. And entertaining the idea that maybe there's some truth to what this lady is saying means that he's now at odds with the group that he so heavily identifies with. I acknowledge that I'm a good person that's capable of doing good deeds and helping people out. Well, then what does that say about me rolling with a group of outlaws who continuously hurt people, even people that are in that group? Right? So he has the cost sunk into the group. He has the deep ties that he has to the group. Those deep ties perpetuate a self-narrative that aren't particularly healthy for him. Whereas maybe surrounding himself by some other folks who are going to be a little bit more realistic about the good that he's capable of doing, maybe he finds a new group. But that's a hard thing to do at Arthur's age. It just speaks to the power of, like, our formative and important relationships. If you surround yourself by people who consistently reinforce for you that you're a piece of shit, you are going to go and operate through the world as if you are, and you're going to fight people when they tell you that they don't perceive you to be that, and you don't have to do that. You can surround yourself by folks who build you up, and that has a very powerful effect on people. You might notice that you start setting boundaries with people who aren't so great if that happens. Yeah, exactly, Shelves. He polarizes too heavily against people who say that he's a good person.
I told you. Brother.
But I do think that over time, people like her are going to wear on him. I do think that Arthur is going to find it in him. He's going to find some self-worth, and I think when he does, it's going to be pretty powerful for him. All right, so it appears to me that we have successfully cleared out side quests for the folks at Saint Denis. I think that we ought to catch ourselves a show before I go. And then we will get in touch with Dutch in part 20.
I'll sleep well tonight.
I am curious to see what kind of show we got here. The bonus Monday stream, get a little bonus show. Strong repertoire of dramas and comedies. Wait, is this the same theater? I want to go to this one. I don't want to go to that one. We already came here. I want to go to the other place. Damn it, which we were already a lot closer to. Come here, girl.
Out of the damn way.
Grand Entertainment, Fontana Magic Lantern Theater. What do we got here? Josiah of Blackwater. Howdy, sir. I'd like to buy a ticket.
Can I buy a ticket, please?
Make your way through the doors on either side of me.
Yes, sir. All right. What do we have here? go ahead and sit here on this aisle seat here.
Welcome, one and all, to the remarkable example of modern entertainment at its finest. Now, most of you youngins, I'm sure, know about our great national hero and pioneer, Josiah Blackwater. Him that gave the town of Blackwater its nomenclature. You see, only about 100 years ago, weren't nothing here but big old forests, ferocious beasts, surly savages, arid deserts, and unconquered mountains. The West, well, the whole West was untamed. Your mama probably told you bedtime stories about Josiah's many adventures. But I'm gonna tell you a story you ain't likely to have heard about his possum hat. Now, Josiah Blackwater was born in the year of our Lord 1782 in a log cabin just west of Ansburg. He was a special boy. His pa gave him his first rifle when he was 3 years old. Boy, he took to it right away. He exclaimed, "There's a whole mess of critters out there in the woods that aim to eat us, so I'm gonna consume them first." Yes, sir.
Love that he has a mustache as a kid.
Keen shot. One morning, he was sorting up some winter turnips for the root cellar when a big old bear and her cubs came in the kitchen hunting for food. It had
Oh no.
eat up all the jams and preserves. Josiah grabbed that bear and wrestled her to the ground and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. He whooped the tar clean out of that big old critter. Then he tied her up and grabbed them cubs and ground them into sausages while the mama bear watched.
Jesus.
That's fine eating. His mom and pa knew right then he was cut out to be
He was
the
a
finest
sociopath?
frontiersman that ever drew breath. But first, they wanted him to get some book learning. After only 3 days of attending school, Josiah beat the living daylights out of the class bully and announced to his daddy that he was tired of ciphering and mathematics on account it's only good for adding up the number of critters or Indians you can kill.
Oh my
So
God.
he ran away from home and headed west. Now, these lands were occupied by savages then, and when Josiah Blackwater came scouting through, he recognized it to be a land of splendor, wasted on those that couldn't appreciate it on account of worshiping false idols. He got rid of all them pesky buffalo, and thereby ensured those infernal Indians.
Oh my God.
Of course,
I hate this.
that got them mightily riled up, so he had to slaughter all of them too.
Boo. Boo.
1775. Right about that time, he met an Indian girl he took pity on account of having annihilated her family. She was 12 years old, and so he took her as his wife. She gave him 2 sons before she died of typhus. Now, y'all know that Josiah Blackwater wore a possum for a hat, but most don't know how that came to be. Well, one day, old Josiah was riding a couple of alligators down the Lanahatchee River, riding, standing up, and shooting eagles right out of the sky, when he sees a big old mountain lion about to eat a possum. Josiah grabbed that mountain lion by the tail and wrestled it till it was plumb dead. Well, that possum really took to Josiah, followed him around like a dog loyal to its master. Yes, they had a lot of adventures together. Now, Josiah never cried a day in his life, but he personally...
Yeah, he wouldn't want to do that.
For they were mighty fine friends. So he skinned it and made it into a hat. Back in them days, a possum skin was as good as money, but he never parted with that hat, not even for $10. Once he founded the town of Blackwater, he sent word for settlers to come. It was the last stop in the west before San Francisco. He met a girl by the name of Rufina Helsby at a barn dance one night, took her as his wife, and settled down. Built himself a cattle empire and had 14 youngins. But Josiah Blackwater wasn't the home-loving kind, and he grew mighty restless. One day on the courthouse steps, he announced, "You may all go to hell, and I will go to Saint Denis." And so he did. Enjoyed French pursuits of strumpets and wanton gluttony, which is where he came upon the idea of running for Congress. He wore that possum hat every day as a congressman, as a reminder of where he come from, saying, "I may live in barbaric splendor, but I always remember, keep your friends close and your gun closer, because you don't know when you might have to shoot them."
I like the vaudeville show better.
had a nice time?
Okie dokie. Yeah, other show is a lot better. Lot better. Ooh.
How can I help you?
Saint Denis Times number 47. Yes, indeed. All right, let's go somewhere nice where we can read the paper. Let's take a gander at the paper. We're gonna go somewhere where there's some light. All right. The Saint Denis Times number 47. Oh boy, I'm gonna need more light than this. Let's go here. Perhaps this is the better spot. There we go. All right. Scores dead in blood feud. Braithwaites versus Grays. Braithwaite Manor burned to ground. Sheriff Gray killed. Most of both families believed dead. Rhodes in pieces. The feud between old plantation families, the Grays and the Braithwaites, began almost a century ago and has come to a head on the streets of Rhodes in a bloody shootout. Most of the Gray family, including Sheriff Lee Gray, perished in an ambush as the streets pooled with blood. Witnesses at the scene of the battle say bodies littered the streets. Soon after, apparently in bitter reprisal, several men stormed Braithwaite Manor, executing everyone inside. The historic plantation house was then burned to the ground. The fire could not be seen for miles as locals rushed to the scene to find out what had happened. Officials do not know how many perished and will need to spend several days searching the ruins to determine the exact number. Almost all the Braithwaite family are believed dead, although some family members remain unaccounted for, and some were believed out of town. Telegraphic and telephone communication erupted in the hours afterwards as friends and loved ones reached out to find what had transpired. Services for the dead will be held in the coming days. Oof. Grand champagne reception to be held. Mayor Lemieux's annual party. Music and fireworks planned. High society on display. The elite and politicians of Saint Denis are waiting for their invitations to attend the annual champagne reception and gala held by Mayor Henry Lemieux at his exquisite mansion in Flavian Street. Known as the richest and most extravagant party of the year, it is considered the highest honor to receive an invitation to attend. Invitations have been sent. Ball gowns and fine suits are being made to order. Champagne has arrived by boat just 2 days ago, enough to fill a swimming pool should Mayor Lemieux choose to build one. The annual event is a highlight of the year and many yearn to take part, as the women wear spectacular dresses and men carry pocket watches and other fine accoutrements worth a year's salary for most working folk. As if we're supposed to be excited about that. Flaunt your wealth while I struggle to make a living. This year's affair promises to be the biggest celebration yet. Musicians playing, people dancing, and evening culminating in a fireworks display that is sure to be the grandest spectacle of the year. Onlookers are expected to gather to catch a glimpse of the beautiful and splendid guests. Man, I really wish I could read some of this. Next article. Man, see, some of these, it's just too hard for me to read, which is really a bummer, because, like, I would love to read some of these. They have words. Motorized lawnmower patented. Imagine never again having to swing a scythe to clear a field of grass. Carlisle McKinroy has filed a patent for a motorized lawnmower that he says will make the chore a thing of ease. It is powered by petrol or paraffin, which heats up boiling water into steam that runs the contraption and allows the spinning blades to slice through the grass. McInroy and said his invention means that on a hot summer day, a man can clear his lot easily, pushing the machine around as it billows out steam and slices each blade of grass effortlessly. The Saint-Denis Theater Company is reporting lead actor Robert Elliott Patchen hasn't appeared for performances and is presumed missing. Please write or wire with any information. Submarine in the works. I'm going to do it this way. It's a little bit easier here. A modern marvel will be powered by steam similar to 1860 Southern Navy model. Jack Yanner was only 10 when the war between the states ended. He remembers the stories of how Southern ingenuity resulted in the invention of an underwater boat or submarine named the H.T. Abernathy that played a part in the war. Under a contract with the U.S. Navy, Yanner is currently working on a submarine based off the original design, but rather than being human-powered, it moves via internal combustion engine while on the surface of the water and electrical power when submerged. He hopes when it is completed in 1900, it will be the first submarine commissioned by the Navy. While the Abernathy killed 2 crews during testing and ultimately sank during battle when it was too close to its own torpedo explosion, it did ultimately sink the Northerners' Navy ship. There are also plans to possibly power the new design with steam, similar to a competing submarine currently in development in France. All right. J.D. McKnight warns investors. Prominent New York financier J.D. McKnight spoke to a group in New York on Friday, saying that the economic policies of the United States could create another financial panic, quote, within the next 10 years. No, he ain't totally wrong. Could repeat panic of 1893. During the panic of 1893, the U.S. Treasury nearly ran out of gold, prompted McKnight and others to sell the government 3.5 million ounces of gold. McKnight also helped rebuild Saint-Denis after the Civil War, an act that prompted the city to build a statue in his honor. Skeptics contend McKnight is an opportunist and carpetbagger who has repeatedly benefited greatly from catastrophe and economic crisis. Railroad path brings decline. Tumbleweed residents fret at future. The once bustling town of Tumbleweed in Gaptooth Ridge, New Austin, is growing quiet. The shops sit mostly empty. The blacksmith is idle. The population is dwindling as wagon after wagon of families leave. Since the railroad bypassed Tumbleweed in favor of Armadillo, trade and commerce has moved away. Last holdouts fear that there exists not much future for the dear town of Tumbleweed, and it will become another casualty of the technological advances that have blighted so much of our western expansion. Controversial Sheriff Samuel Freeman presiding over a dusty, soon-to-be-forgotten relic in the desert. This, in a lot of ways, is why people in rural areas tend to not enjoy cities. They don't like people who are, quote, progressive technology, because it represents this type of thing. It drives people out. It makes it so that they're irrelevant. You got to place the blame somewhere, and a lot of times it's actually okay to place the blame on the fact that there are technological advances that are being funded by the government. So it's understandable why people would not be particularly fond, because the government in this case is not serving their interests. People tend to vote and align themselves with people that serve their interests. So it's sad that that happens, because there's not a lot of help that comes their way to assist. Now, there's some argument to be made that that's capitalism, right? That's the system that we're in. But also, you know, helping those folks out ain't a terrible thing. Riverboat Grand Corrigan announces high-stakes gambling nights. High rollers, debutantes, and card sharks will be welcomed on board the Grand Corrigan Riverboat in a series of high-stakes gambling nights arranged to stimulate the tourist industry in town. Moored in Saint-Denis, the Grand Corrigan is said to be the most opulent riverboat of its kind still in operation, and those who have spent days of travel aboard say they scarcely wanted to disembark once reaching their destination. The staff are famously attentive and impeccable. The cuisine is some of the finest ever experienced outside of France. The linens and millinery are all imported from Italy. The high-stakes gambling nights became something of a legend, with some of the biggest and richest men of industry meeting to raise, bluff, and bet incredible sums, some said to exceed the cost of a team of horses, the stable they reside in, and the mansion next door. Grand Corrigan has resumed the famed gambling evenings now that it is moored on the area for a few weeks in preparation of resuming luxury travel service. I kind of want to go there and do some gambling on the boat. Savages in the swamp. Night folk terrorizing citizens. Residents in the bayou are on edge as reports circulate of murders and robberies committed by a stealthy group of swamp dwellers commonly referred to as night folk. Believed to be responsible for the murder of Doris Whitcomb, attacks have escalated and citizens are warned to avoid the area. These elusive swamp dwellers are thought to be feral outposts of illiterate, interbreeding people living in deplorable conditions, devoid of even intelligible speech. Violent, sneaky, and dangerous, they communicate with savage grunts and clicks, and according to one man who fought them off, they behave as savage beasts. Travel is discouraged. Opera singer robbed. Stagecoach stopped in Scarlet Meadows. Oh, that was us. Mrs. Chester Damson, a wealthy socialite of self-trained opera singer who most recently traveled to New York City to sing on Broadway, was robbed while traveling through Scarlet Meadows. The ruse began as a man purporting to be in the business of throwing musicals stopped the wagon she was traveling in and asked Mrs. Damson for an impromptu audition. Happy to oblige, she sang her heart out. Little did she know the man had an accomplice hiding in the thicket. While she was singing, he snuck it into the back of the wagon and stole her prized possessions and a great deal of currency. Upon making her report to the local magistrate, she chastised him for not hunting down nefarious elements in the region and allowing wanton robbery and thieving. Mrs. Damson had recently returned from her performances in New York, which received very mixed reviews. She blamed on the orchestra wandering off-key and on the viciousness of the New York press. Yes, it is the press's fault. Boys' wool suits. Nice. Ride in comfort and class on the Southern Eastern Railway. The Art of Angling by Jeremy Gill. Lake Sturgeon. Once at a dinner party held in my honor by the General Ambassador, I witnessed a rotund woman inhaling plate after plate as if her life depended on it. I remarked that she possessed the culinary conducts of Acupenser Fulvesons, a joke sadly lost on most in attendance. Any half-educated man knows that the lake sturgeon is a bottom-dwelling fish with a sizable snout that disturbs sentiment and vacuums up small creatures. I recommend you use a spinner or man-made lure during overcast weather. You'll land a fish far more delicious than the Germanic monstrosity could ever know. Once considered a nuisance fish, they are remarkably delicious. Try a Lanachie River Delta. I caught and cooked the sturgeon for the King of Prussia there. To my tales, Germans and sturgeon coming full circle. Happy casting. I like that. I like reading the papers.
Well, they say the preacher's been vanished. Right?
Good stuff. Hey! Nope. I thought for a second we were going to sit on this bench properly, but we didn't. If you are here watching the VOD for part 19, I'd like to say thank you so much for making it through this episode. I know we didn't progress the main storyline, but it's fun to do some of these side missions in Saint-Denis and really just feel the world be built. I hope that you enjoyed it immensely. Please take a second to hit the thumbs up button below this video to let me know what you think. Also, take a second to leave a comment. I love reading them. I don't respond to all of them, but I do read them. Also, if you have chosen to financially support this stream, or if you want to know how to financially support this stream, you can send a tip through the link in the description. You can also become a member by hitting the join button below this video. And there are different levels of membership. All the money that I make doing this goes right back into the stream. It is totally free to watch my stuff. I will never put it behind a paywall, but those of you that do spend a few dollars on this stream, please know that it means the world. If you want something tangible to go along with your investment, I do have a merch store that's just launched. It's in the description, or you can go to www.drmickmerch.com. There's all sorts of cool merch there, including an album of music 4 hours long that you can use in your own streams if you happen to stream. Thank you for coming out for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next one.